everyone, and welcome to our city council meeting. It is May 20th. It is 2:00 p.m. I will call this meeting to order, and if we could please have the record reflect that we do have quorum. Welcome, everyone. We'll move on to our invocation and pledge of allegiance. We have Pastor Matt Briones, Matt from Majesty Outdoors Church. I'm sorry, tongue twister for me. That will lead us in our invocation today. And Mr. Garza, do you mind doing the pledge after me?
Sure.
Okay.
Good afternoon. We want to thank you for just giving us the privilege to come here and share Jesus and give a blessing to today's meeting. I do want to invite my associate, Mr. Jesse, to actually bless the meeting today, if that's okay.
Yes.
Hey, Jesse.
Jesse. Hi.
How are y'all doing today?
Welcome.
Welcome.
Just like to say this little prayer for y'all. Heavenly Father, I thank you for waking us all up this morning. We thank you for these willing and servant hearts that we have here in this room. I lift up this meeting to you. I pray that everyone keep an open mind to any issues that may come up. I ask in the name of Jesus that every eye opened, every ear listening will be blessed. I pray that you open the eyes of our hearts and that you give us clarity in all decisions made today. I pray that all that is decided and discussed today align with your will, Lord. Bless us all. In Jesus' name I pray.
Amen.
Please turn to the flag, hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
Hey, Primo.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, man.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.
God bless you. Okay, moving on to our public comments. I do not see anyone wishing to speak to council at this time, so we'll move on to agenda item number 4, city manager staff reports. 4.1, discussion and update regarding the most recent severe weather event.
And Mayor, I'm going to have Patrick Thomas go over this. He's our emergency management coordinator.
Good afternoon,
Hi.
Mayor and Council. Just going to give a quick update on the storm that happened on the 9th or 8th.
Yeah.
Days have all kind of come together. But, so last Thursday we did have not last Thursday, Thursday before. We had a storm that came through our community. Started out in Duval County and kind of worked its way in through Nueces County. But the path took again just right outside of San Diego, came through, followed West 44, kind of went to the south side of town, between Bembo and the south side of Alice, inside the city limits, worked its way through 665 and all the way up to Petronila, and did leave a lot of damage in its path. And so right away, the first reactions or the first response from us as responders, myself, police chief, the sheriff, we all came together at the fire station. And our city manager was out there as well. We created a quick, we stood up a quick EOC, Emergency Operations Center, to be able to run the incident from there. We had our judge, commissioners, we had, the station was full of everybody that needed to be in there, and we formulated our response. While we were assembling our EOC, we had our first responders out there, police officers, firefighters, sheriff's deputies. We're out and about on the streets, making sure that our number one goal was life safety, make sure everybody was safe and out of harm's way. And then from there, we moved on to damage assessment, so we can get an idea of how bad was. And so we were able to get that done. The storm rolled in around, it was like 7. And the peak part was about 8, 9 o'clock, somewhere in that range. And we were out until about 4:30. About 4:30, Mike.
Yeah, about 4:30.
About 4:30 in the morning is when we finally went home. Then came back the next morning at 6 in the morning and got back to work with damage assessment. We did request some help from. So initially, we did have some response from the state. The state had pre-positioned some fire trucks in our community, so we had 5 additional engines on top of what we already had locally with us and with our mutual aid departments. So we did have fire trucks from Bedford, Sanger, all up in the North Texas area. They had pre-positioned down here in this area, not just for Alice, but for the area. But it just so happened that Ground Zero was in Alice this time, and so they were here pretty quick. They were out and about helping they tied in with all of our firefighters, and we were able to get a quick handle on life safety. There were no major injuries. All the injuries that did occur were minor. The bulk of the damage was structural damage, vehicle accidents, and then of course a lot of power lines and trees down. The next morning, and actually that started that night as well, we also had our street crews out. The streets and parks crews came out and were able to help get some of the streets opened. We never lost any water or sewer on the city side. Everything stayed up and running, so that was a good thing. Out in the county, however, there were a lot of places that didn't have electricity, and so when you lose electricity, you lose water wells and things like that. So there were people that were without water, without electricity for a little while. We partnered up with the county. A bulk of there was damage inside the city. There were needs in the city, and those were being met, but there were more in the county, especially out in the rural areas on West 44 and off of 65. And so we, made sure that their county partners had what they needed to be able to get back on their feet, and we're still doing that right to this day. We formed on Friday. We formed some damage assessment teams with the Texas Department of Emergency Management. And they came in, we split up into crews and went out and did an assessment of the entire affected area to try to capture as much damage as possible. Moved on to the next couple days. Beginning on Monday, we opened a information center where people could go and report their damage and get some information on help. And it's just all to be able to paint a picture. And so today, fast forward till today we were out with the Small Business Administration. What we're hoping to get is a disaster declaration from the Small Business Administration, which would open up some resources for some of the people who were affected. What those resources look like or assistance looks like, I don't know. That's not something that we get to decide. Our job is just to put all that damage together, put that assessment together, hand it over to them, and let them make their decisions. And so that's what we've been working on the last week. Tomorrow we'll have an assistance center set up at the fairgrounds. For any residents in Alice, Jimos County, and we have actually opened it up to the surrounding counties as well, so Nueces County residents are allowed to come as well and talk to some of the nonprofit organizations about getting some resources and some help for whatever their needs are. So that's pretty much the bulk of what's happened. It's been a busy week. I've been focusing a lot on emergency management because of this disaster. So working really closely with our state and local partners to make things happen for our community. Any questions?
And Mayor and Council, also, I'd like to point out that our guys, they did an incredible job that day. Police and fire were out there, streets were out there. They were ahead of the storm. Streets were virtually, maybe only 2 streets were still had debris in the morning. Our guys are working all hours of the night, not to mention our water and wastewater. We had an issue at one of the lift stations, and so our wastewater guys, and Dimitri was there also, I think that finished at 3:30 in the morning. But there were no interruption in services, and I think it's pretty telling. Our guys are experienced, and they care about the community, and they do a really good job. So my hat's off to our staff for taking care of our citizens.
Mayor, did I leave anything out? I know you've been assisting with everything too, so did I leave something out?
I'm just proud of the collaboration we've had with the county, the other entities. TDM being down here was huge to do the assessments and surveys and helping us with that legwork or groundwork or with boots on the ground. No, and I think our staff, everyone, our employees have been amazing. So thank you so much, Patrick, because you've headed a lot of this up. Thank you so much for what you've done, and I know you were out there in the wee hours, so thank you so much.
That's
It
a
meant
lot of the lights come up and things like that. So also AEP.
That's what I was
AEP
just gonna
had a
say,
big
AEP.
presence.
Randy
And-
King was there, right, with you guys?
Yes, Mr. King
Yes,
was at
Mr.
the fire
King
station
was
with
there.
us that night.
Well, I found it very strange that we had, well, coincidence, I guess, that we were at the hurricane conference for the past 2 days, and that evening, that happened.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
Mr. King told us right then and there at our round table that he would be there right front and center, and he was.
They drove in all the way from,
Yes.
lives in, I think, Nueces County or San
Yeah,
Francisco
he
County.
came in to help, so it was really nice to see them all here and working, everybody. Thank you.
Yep, it comes down to collaboration during Blue Skies And when we have those relationships during the blue skies, when skies turn gray, things work. And so that's what we try to do.
And Real Transportation.
Real transportation.
Real, too.
They've been great.
And one thing you didn't mention, but didn't we have a lift station that went out? They had
Yeah.
some guys in
That's
there,
what
like
it is.
Yeah,
a major kind of issue.
Yeah,
up
so
there,
we had our-
get that back online,
yeah, we got a temporary
all
pump
hours
out
of the
there.
night, yeah.
They were working out there, and yeah, those are the things that people aren't going to see that. Our guys, because they were there fixing that, a portion of the town were able to
Patrick.
flush and have the wastewater run through. But they worked, and they got it working, and it's just it had nothing to do with the storm. It was just the timing of it. It was there. It was at the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
This was kind of a sudden thing. It wasn't like, right, I mean, we didn't have a lot of heads up about it. People wanted like a hurricane response or something, and
Yeah.
I think that some
The
people
storm,
were upset
yeah.
about the siren not going on.
Yeah, so
Can you
can-
explain
yeah,
why
can
that
Yeah, I was
didn't go
gonna
off?
say.
Yeah, can you explain to us
So the sirens are tornado sirens, and anytime that the National Weather Service issues a tornado warning, that's when those sirens are going to go off. If there's people in the path of the projected path of the tornado that the National Weather Service detects, they'll send a message to us, and then we can set those sirens off. This storm was not a tornado. There was never a tornado warning issued. There was a severe storm warning issued early on, but a lot of times we don't pay attention to those because just it's just severe weather. It's not going to be anything, because 9 times out of 10 it isn't. But that one time that it is, we've got to be ready for that, right? And so that's why they didn't go off there.
So what are the steps, Patrick? Let's say hypothetically there's a tornado. What are the steps that would require you to push that button?
So there really isn't a magic button. So everybody's got these cell phones, right? And your phones go off when there's amber alerts, when there's silver alerts, and that same system is set up for tornadoes as well. So your phones are probably going to go off before that siren's going to go off.
So who determines that? Is it the National Weather
The
Service?
National Weather Service
Not
determines that.
John Wells County, not
Correct.
City of Valley.
That is correct. Now, once we get those, and then we start paying attention to where the radar is detecting where that tornado's at, that's when we can pick and try to set sirens off if there's a siren in that area. But the first report comes from the Weather Service.
But the
They
weather-
kind of dictate to us when.
The Weather Service would have to tell you this.
That's correct.
You couldn't press it in the event of saying, I think there's a tornado, I'm going to press it.
That's correct.
Seems
Because-
like there's a way.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna press it.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that I do know, or I think that I know, but weather's not one of those. I'm not a weather guy.
Not even the weatherman knows.
Yeah, the weathermen know the weather.
Not
but-
even them. But yeah, okay. Yeah, just for clarity.
Yes.
I know there was a lot of confusion. I know Robert mentioned it and everyone's concerned about it. We want to bring some clarity to that.
Yep.
And the other thing is, what are the thresholds to issue a declaration disaster, and at what point do we do that?
So there's different thresholds, and they're monetary thresholds is what we look for. Sometimes they're monetary thresholds, sometimes they're structural thresholds. So like today, the threshold we were looking for was 25 homes that were majorly impacted. And once we hit that number, then SBA will take a look at it and try to issue a disaster declaration. The numbers are different depending on what level of declaration you want. So there's a county threshold. There isn't a city threshold. The threshold is as county as a whole, right? So once you hit that county threshold, that declares you a disaster in the state's eyes. But then there's another threshold that's even higher than that to make us a federal declared disaster. We are nowhere near making that threshold yet.
All right.
We've hit the county threshold where we feel comfortable we'll be in that range, but making a getting a federal declaration is going to be very difficult because we don't have the damage, the numbers that we need to make that happen. So our biggest step right now is getting that SBA threshold.
So people who are affected by this can go to a center, if you're saying it, and report their information of damages? Is that correct? Is that how it works?
That is correct. You can self-report, and we've shared that all over our Facebook and website. There's a QR code that you can scan to report your damage, and you can self-report that. Or if you need somebody to come out and help you do that, we can send people out to make that happen. We have boots on the ground that can actually go to your home and help you file that claim. And then the other thing is we do have the center that we set up for that over at the old bank, the county building. We had people there that could help them, walk them through that process. And then tomorrow, what we did is, anticipating, what kind of disaster declarations we're going to get. We tried to assemble as many people that can offer assistance to people as possible and put them all in one room in one location. So if somebody does need assistance, they can walk around that room and hopefully find assistance for whatever need they have at that time. So that's kind of where we're at this point. As far as assistance from FEMA, I've had that question, when is FEMA coming? I don't have the answer to that. I don't think that they will come because, again, we're not, our disaster hasn't met that, isn't even close to making that threshold yet.
But it's not up to you to decide whether FEMA comes or not, is that
No,
correct?
our job locally as a city and a county is to capture as much information as possible and forward that on up to the state and to the federal partners, and then they make those decisions on what those thresholds are. We don't even get to decide what our threshold is. They tell us what those numbers are. And so, yeah, we don't make those decisions. Our job is to just, number one, make sure everybody's safe. Two, capture the damage and report that on up to them.
What is the significance of SBA coming in? I mean, what are they gonna offer?
So I don't know what they're going to offer. In the past, I know they offer small interest loans, small grants, things like that. So what that looks like, again, that's going to be up to SBA on what they offer, what kind of assistance they offer. And, sometimes, depending on everybody's situation, it may or may not be of any help to them. So that's the purpose of the Disaster Assistance Center tomorrow, is to, even if SBA doesn't come in, there's other resources that we can get help to people locally.
One last one.
Sure.
When you say like we go out there and if they need assistance, we help them. Defined assistance. What are you helping them with?
So-
like your staff and your.
We're helping them capture that data. So if they need
Okay.
help navigating through so it's a portal that you have to navigate through. You can do it on your phone. Navigating through that portal, our staff is trained on how, what you're supposed to answer in certain areas, what that question means, where to click, that type of thing. We can walk them through that process.
Okay. Correction on the name, it's not Randy King, it's Patrick King.
Yes.
When I went to visit the resource center, just to visit them, they were telling me that they were asking for photos of damages, that was very helpful. And if they don't have a cell phone, we're able to still capture that data for them on the computer that we have, or the.
So we have devices. We do have iPads that we're using for that.
Yeah, okay.
If they needed us to go out and actually take a picture. So the system does require you to have at least one photo. You can upload up to 10 photos on that. It's called iStat system. So you can do up to 10 photos. The more photos, the better. And we're just trying to capture what that damage looks like.
Yeah.
So-
And I'm only stating that because people that are going to go out tomorrow to make sure that they have something like that.
Right, so
prepared.
to date, as of this morning, there were over 400 submissions.
Okay.
Of those submissions, 45 of them were major or destroyed homes.
Oh, wow.
And so the important thing to note is it gets uploaded into that portal, and then it goes up to Austin, at an office up in Austin where they have experts that are validating those submissions. And so even though it may be submitted, it does take a little bit of time for them to validate it, check it, and then it becomes an official number on our statistics.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for that.
Say, Patrick, quick question, and kind of piggybacking on the sirens. I don't know if you remember when we were younger, they used to ring that siren for lunchtime, curfew, and all that other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So when did they change from, I guess, being liberal with it to being very conservative on it?
I don't know. I've never, as long as I've been around, I've never set those off, not these sirens off for that purpose. So I wouldn't be able to.
And
tell
you do test them
do.
periodically.
They are they're tested every week. I believe it's every Sunday and every Wednesday they go off. It's a short little growl that you'll hear, and we can manually set them off as well if we needed to test them. But yeah, that's I wouldn't be able to. I don't know why they stopped doing that at some point.
All right, thank you.
I guess now we have cell phones that alarm at lunchtime.
Yeah, technology's changed a lot. Those really, watch the weather guy. Make sure the weather guy will tell you if something's coming, and your phone.
And then call Patrick.
They're connected to your phones.
All right.
Any other questions, council? No? Okay. I appreciate it. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you.
Hey, Patrick.
Okay. Next is 4.2, review and discuss dates and times for budget workshops for the city's revised budget for the fiscal year ending 2024, 2025, 2026, and the city's proposed budget for fiscal year ending 2025, 2026.
And Mayor and Council, this is our budget calendar for FY 2026, so this is for this summer. And we wanted to get this to you early on so you can kind of plan accordingly. Some of these dates are set by regulation as to when we have to have a public hearing and when we don't, and how many days in advance and those kind of things. So if there's going to be any one of these that you cannot make, please let us know as early as you can. That way we can try to work around that if we need to. But finance kind of work through this to make it fit just right with our dates that we have for our meetings, and then kind of keep with the Tuesdays that we do and those kind of things. So it's really just for an informational item. And if there's an issue with a date, let me know.
Council, any questions or discussion?
No questions.
Nothing? Okay. Okay, then moving on to agenda item number 5, presentations. 5.1, delivery of 2025 certification of 2025 estimate of taxable value for the city of Alice as required by state law under section 26.01E of the Texas Property Tax Code.
And also, Mayor and Council, this is also an informational item for you guys. The net estimated taxable value is $956,370,796 for the city of Alice. And that is the estimate that the appraisal district came up with this year. They usually finalize that toward the end of July and give us the certified values. And so right now there's reviewing protests and any changes or errors that may have been made. And so it's just an estimate at this time. Usually doesn't change very much, but that's what it is right now.
Okay.
What was that amount again?
$956,370,796.
Thank you. Okay. No questions or any? Council? And not 5.2, presentation of proclamation of April 2025 as Fair Housing Month. Proclamation to fulfill activity obligations as required by the Community Development Block Grant Mitigation CDBG MIT MIT program for GLOW state contract number 24-065-150-F009.
Thank you, Mayor. And Desiree is going to present this item for us.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Council. This is just the startup of the GLO grant that we're going into. We had a kickoff a couple weeks ago, and so this is one of the first steps that we have to do for this one.
I don't. Was there a?
Yes, well, I have two other ones, so
But I was saying on this particular one, was there anything else or
it's just a
nothing?
It's the proclamation that you'll sign, but
Okay.
it's just for.
Well, we didn't have to read it or anything. Okay. That's what I want to make sure.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Then, moving on, if we don't have any other comments, 6, agenda item 6, consent agenda. All consent agenda items are considered to be routine by the city council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a member of the governing body so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda and voted on separately. 6.1, discuss, consider, and act upon approval of city council minutes for April 15, 2025, regular meeting, and city council minutes for May 12, 2025, special city council meeting.
Motion to approve consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Thank you, council. Agenda item number 7, individual consideration. 7.1, Discuss, consider, and act upon adopting a resolution, A, regarding civil rights provisions required under the Community Development Block Grant CDBG, Contract 24-065-150-F009B, authorizing the city manager to sign and implement the policies, citizen participation plan, and grievance procedures. Section 3, Policy Excessive Force Policy, Limited English Proficiency, LEP Standards Plan, Section 504, Policy and Grievance Procedures, Code of Conduct Policy, and Fair Housing Policy.
This is, like I said, this is the one that we had our kickoff 2 weeks ago. This is for the MITMOD. This is the grant with the $4.7 million. So this is to comply with federal funding requirements. This is to, of course, ensure fair and equal for services for the funds. This is one of the first things, and the activity for this project is water system improvements, public service system improvements, and wastewater system improvements.
Okay. Okay. This is adopting a resolution.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And, I say that the motion needs to be adopting a resolution to, regarding the civil rights provisions required under the Community Development Block Grant, CDBG Contract 24-065-150-F009, authorizing city manager to sign and implement policies, citizen participation plan and grievance procedures, the Section 3 policies, excessive force policy, limited English proficiency, LEP standards plan, Section 504 policy and grievance procedures, Code of Conduct policy, and fair housing policy.
Okay. Thank you.
So
Thank you
moved
for
as
reading
stated.
that.
Second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Thank you, council. Thank you, Mr. Lemon.
Very well.
7.2, discuss, consider, and take action, to extend the disaster declaration filed on May 9, 2025, and May 16, 2025 by Mayor Cynthia Carrasco for the city of Alice.
Yeah, so this is just the extension of the disaster declaration that, that has to be done by the council. Once the mayor does it, it's good for 7 days.
And the way that we set it up on this, we've done it in the past, the way it's set up is that it continues until it's withdrawn. And so if SBA or the county needs, or the state needs that declaration to be in place, it'll stay in place as long as it's necessary. And then, and it's not gonna expire of its own accord, but, if you all wanted to take action on down the road to withdraw it, you could.
Thank
So
you.
it just it's gonna last for as long as you all keep it in place.
Okay.
Is that correct, Patrick?
That is correct.
All right. It didn't take me a half hour.
I am also not an attorney, so.
Weatherman,
Not a weatherman. They call you a fire.
Everything else. Next, he's gonna say, I'm not a city manager.
That's my name.
Are you ready for a motion?
Okay, so if there's no other discussion, I will entertain a motion at this time.
May I make a motion to extend the disaster declaration filed on May 9, 2025, and May 16, 2025, by Mayor Cynthia Carrasco for City of Alice.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick.
Okay. 7.3, discuss, consider, and adopt a resolution to designate authorized signatories for the Community Development Block Grant Mitigation Program, CDBG MIT Program for GLO State Contract Number 24-065-150-F009.
Same grant. This is a resolution for, to authorize the individuals to sign documents related to the grant. And this is just to make sure that funds are managed responsibly and legally.
The authorized signatories
city manager, finance director, deputy finance director,
Okay.
and
Okay. Okay. Council, any questions in reference to this agenda item? No? Mr. Beltran?
Not right now.
Mr. Molina?
No, I have no questions.
Is this
No, no questions.
Owen? Mr. Garza?
No, ma'am, not at the moment, thank you.
Okay. So if there's no other questions or any discussion, I'll entertain a motion in reference to this agenda item.
May I make a motion to adopt a resolution to designate authorized signatories for the Community Development Block Grant Mitigation Program, CDBG MIT MIT Program for GLO State Contract Number 24065-150F009. Do I need to state who the signatories are? No?
Designating signatories, well,
City Manager, Financial Director,
Yes.
Finance Director, and Deputy Finance Director? Okay. There you go.
I'll second.
Okay. We have a first and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed? Okay. Motion passes. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
7.4, discuss, consider, and take action authorizing city manager to enter into and sign a pool management agreement for the City of Alice Natatorium and Water Park.
Mayor, Council, this is from our last meeting. Y'all authorized me to negotiate with NRC Alice Water Hub LLC for the pool management, and we've done that. We still have the contract in draft form, maybe a few minor changes, but I just wanted to get y'all's approval to move forward with it. And we also have here Vincent Marquez with NRC Alice Water Hub LLC here, along with Mr. Toby Flores, who he's working with also on this project and other projects that he has around town. So, just looking for y'all's approval to move forward.
Council, do you have any questions? Mr. Benton?
No, not right now.
Mr. Molina?
No, I went over with Michael and it's very thorough, and John, appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Marquez, Mr. Flores.
Okay. Mrs. Bowen?
Yeah, I went over this. It is very thorough, and I appreciate all the time and effort put into this. And thank you, Mr. Marquez. Thank you very much for putting in the effort to take care of our natatorium and to be part of it. So it's an honor to have you working with us. All right, that's all.
Thank you. Mr. Garza?
Contract looks very good, Mr. Matas, thank you. Mr. Flores, John, Michael, did a great job. I look forward to see the future, so, thank you.
Okay.
Mayor, if I may suggest a motion,
Yes, sir.
and to move to allow the city manager to finalize, or authorizing the city manager to finalize and sign the pool management agreement with NRC Alice Hub LLC, AKA NRC.
Make the motion as stated.
Okay, I'll second.
We have a first and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
7.5, here status report on April 2025 month-end financial statements, summary of funds, and delivery of April 2025 check registries, or registers.
Absolutely.
Hello.
Just hold on, just give it a second for the, there we go. Thank you, Hector. All righty, we're here for the 7th month ending April 30th, 2025. Our general fund revenues are $7,829,944. Our property tax budget was $1,859,446, and year-to-date, we show collections of $2,769,016. Exhibit B, we have our M&O and INS of $4,516,035. Last year, we were at $3,786,534, so increase that. Going back to Exhibit A, Sales tax was budgeted at $3,839,500, and through February, we're showing $2,793,506. So of course, this is in arrears, so keep that in mind. Exhibit C, we have our sales tax budget versus actual, and this includes the month of March. March's collection was $648,740. 2025 budget is $3,291,000, and we have an actual of $3,442,246. Exhibit D is actual 2025 versus actual 2024, and we had an increase over last year of $92,142. Our expenditures thus far are $7,658,253, or about 54% of budget. Exhibit F are revenues versus expenditures for all funds. Our general fund is sitting at $171,691. Solid waste is $48,527. Utility fund is $197,914. And the golf course fund is sitting at a positive $75,047. Our final slide is revenue over expenditures comparing 2024 and 2025, and you can just see how we're doing. We're keeping everything in line and doing a better job. Our expenses got a handle of them, so hopefully thus far we'll finish off stronger than we did last year.
Very
Any
good.
questions?
Council, Mr. Beltran, Mr. Molina?
That golf course fund, does it include any interfund transfers?
No, not this year. No, sir. They are taking care of themselves.
Wow,
Yes, sir.
amazing.
They're taking care of themselves.
Good job, Michael,
And Jay.
And
for hiring Jay.
And Jay.
Everybody's, yeah, they're doing
Yeah.
good out there.
Yeah, I've been out there, and actually I'm gonna have
When was the
my
last
first
time it
golf
was
lesson
in the
next,
black?
in a couple of weeks.
Never, probably.
What was the last
John?
time, what?
I don't have any idea.
I don't think it's ever.
Yeah, I don't,
I've never seen it in the black.
Vanessa and I were just
It's
talking
all
about
right.
that. We're saying the same
Or
thing.
blue, whatever.
Over 20 years, probably.
It's been a long
But
time.
we've never had Gabriel with his sharp pencil.
There you go.
Yeah,
His
I'll
eraser.
take credit for
Yeah.
that. I'll take credit.
you only own black pens, right? No, I went out there the other day, and he's doing an amazing job, and he's excited that it's done so well. You know, he's on it, so,
Plus he's helping out at the muck also.
yeah, he's doing that too as well.
I keep a close eye. I keep a very close on it. So. Very, very eye.
Anything else, Mr. Molina?
I'm good, thank you.
Mrs. Bowen?
No, I'm good, thank you, Gabriel.
Mr. Garza?
You and your staff keep up the good work. It's easier and easier for people to read. And I do have a couple of questions, but I'll ask you later on some.
Okay, no problem. Sounds good. Thank you.
I had a couple of questions just on some of the, on number 176, 874. Just, what was that? What was that?
I'm so sorry. It's my fault.
Oh, it's for dispatch, for the,
Which,
oh, okay. Oh, okay. Is any of that part of a grant or anything?
is it the ones for PD?
It
It was,
is?
yes, it was. The
Okay.
COG is reimbursing us for
Good.
this. That we already received that funding.
Oh,
So,
okay.
we've been reimbursed for it.
Okay.
Thank you,
And-
Chief.
And then,
Those desks are nice.
They're
and then,
really nice.
I went to go see
And
them.
There was,
dispatchers so excited.
176, I don't have my glasses and they're small. 898, 176, 898. I was just wondering, that went up? It shows 52,009. And it used to be like in, what? Yeah. Okay, okay.
Is that the appraisal district?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
It
based
went
on-
up, okay. Let me see, I'm sorry, you guys. On this expense, 176,911. Is this what is this, a one-time or annual or?
Tyler, it's time and attendance, the cloud. It should be I believe that one,
It's an annual? Okay. And then the other one was repairs. There was, and it says apron repair for Callahan Hanger. That was,
Or the Ram Grant, and that's a hanger
oh,
that,
the apron? Yes, ma'am, that'll be reimbursed.
that'll be reimbursed. Okay. I think there was one more, I'm sorry. When we have the vehicles impounded, we get charged, and is that under anything, or that's just a,
The towing for them,
Yeah.
or is that?
yeah, I was just wondering.
We get charged to,
Okay.
tow them, if that's what the one you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yes,
But the fee goes back to the owner of the vehicle.
partial, yes, sir.
partial,
Yeah, I don't believe because I think we have a set fee.
okay.
So unfortunately, depending on the towing company, we don't have a set fee with them, so it's kind of, at times, we might have to eat some of the cost.
Okay. And I saw some, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We have multiple towing companies in town,
Yes.
right? So how do y'all decide which ones to use, or are they on a rotation?
They're on a rotation, I believe, Chief, you want to talk to that? I don't want to misspeak on the towing. When we get a vehicle in on the towing, then you have a rotation. He's asking how that works as far as, because you have multiple, I know you have multiple towing companies that we use to help us out, but is there a set?
Correct. So we do have first of all, Mayor and Council, thank you for having me before you. So we do have a weekly on-call, so that changes. So every week it's a different on-call that comes in. So there is a fixed price
Okay.
of $275, más o menos, depending, but that's what we try to keep it. Because you had some that were, to help us, right? There was some that wouldn't charge us, and then there's some that would. So I understand the price of gas. There's other expenditures that a company endures or gets, right, has. So we just made, for everybody, let's just make it all one price.
Okay.
So we don't eat no
that-
costs, or do we eat costs?
Sometimes we do, sir. Just depends. But not when it comes to a car, unless we keep it, right? Unless we have to stay with it, then we eat the cost. But for the most part, most people come and pick up the unit or their car. We get the money and we reimburse it back to, especially if it's one that's involved in a felony or it's part of evidence, then we keep it. If not, it goes to the, back to the towing service company itself. But that's a different cost if it goes to their.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I just thought, and we still had a little bit of cost we're still doing the Hickey Street,
Yes,
the repairs.
I'm still working on that.
And again, that 176,995 is a we're getting reimbursed for that too. It said something about hangers, so the apron.
If it's a hanger, then yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Okay,
The material, yes, ma'am. That was part of our request.
okay. And on this, the LEDs Online LLC, 177009.
Yes.
Was it lead? I said, thought,
So,
okay, no, that's fine. I was thinking it was part of when we were looking at our pipelines and stuff.
yes, ma'am.
remember?
So
I thought-
Leads Online is a program that we utilize, and that's how we're able to tap into pawn shops.
Okay.
If you pawn something and we're looking for it, we can go out throughout the United States and search it.
I had in my mind
Lead and
the lead and, yeah,
Yeah.
and I was wondering if that was.
Let's call Leads Online.
Thank you.
Say, Chief, before you take off, with the impound vehicles, how long do you all normally sit on them before you try to, I guess, do the mechanics lean and then get them ready for auction?
So, good question. So, there's a process, and it takes time. I still have some vehicles there that have been there 3 years that we're still trying to iron out with whether it's through our district attorney's office, whether it's an impounded vehicle or one that maybe we're filing seizure, or it becomes abandoned at that point in time if charges were not going to be filed on it. We do have a few of those abandoned vehicles, and they've been sitting there prior to my arrival, so we're still trying to fix that. So it just takes time. And yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank
If I may,
you.
one more quick question. Gabriel, all the mechanics liens that we have on here, does that relate to the police department, or is that something totally
That's
different?
probably the
Grass.
The grass.
right, the grass cutting and everything.
Okay.
Thank you. I was drawing a blank.
Thank you for that.
I got you.
177,066. That was return of deposit for project bid. It was 21,250. Do you know what that was for?
Pardon, that's
Yes,
good.
whenever they bid, it's part of the bid process when we went out for lead and copper. All the applicants that put it, they had to put a
deposit.
project bid, like they had to
Oh,
put in 10%. And so we held a cashier's check.
Oh,
And so
okay.
it was basically reimbursing them for that.
Okay. All right. On this one that says, new vertical pump for irrigation, was that for our parks and stuff? It was for 45,648.
If it's 45,000 pump mechanical, is that the name of the, if
It's
it's that one,
one-
it's the golf course.
177,090.
Yes, that was a golf course.
45.
That was for the irrigation system at the golf course.
Okay. And then, there was a Salt Creek Technology. Access control and doors, it's 15,000 for, 177,097.
That's for PD, it's for the doors. It's for the, they're
Sorry,
part of his
Gigi.
rehab.
Chief, I think you need to sit down with her.
So we do have access.
Sorry,
installed.
Chief.
It's okay. That's what we're for. We're here to answer your questions, ma'am. So all our doors have now access. Before it didn't, so you can just walk in.
Nice.
Now we have a safety measure in place, and so we do have our cards that now for us to get into our department. We had other bids that went out. We had one, the highest was, I think, 30,000 was one company. We found this company for 15 that would do it all. Now, that was reimbursed to us by the grant.
Awesome.
So, yes, ma'am. So we got that money.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't go too far.
He's like,
Look at that, some stuff.
just hadn't seen those, that's why I was kinda,
What does that do?
okay, and, 1631, it's Anthem Sports LLC? Huh?
163, you said?
It says number 1631.
Alice PD's opening her football team.
Go, Alice.
It was for 10,760.
What, yeah, I was gonna ask you the same thing.
136 of 139
Oh, was it the parks?
on the
Oh,
very
this,
top.
so this will be part, yeah, this is from Hot Funds.
Okay,
Yeah, that's,
Where's
all right.
Anthem Sports? Oh, it's for the soccer goals? Yeah, it's for the new soccer goals they put on Moto Field, the 10,716? It's for the
It
new,
was
for the new, they put new soccer goals there at Anderson Park or Moto
Okay.
Field. And that was through the improvements for Hot Funds.
And we're doing lighting and different things too.
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then, okay, I think that's it. The other one was, had a question, but I saw what it's for. It was from the Hot Funds for the festival or the honor.
Oh, Tejano Roots, yes, ma'am.
Thank you, that's it.
Thank
I appreciate
I
it.
have a quick question for you, Gabe, if you don't mind. The departments, have they already turned in their budget to you?
Not
When is their
all of them.
deadline?
We're going through that right now, so we've received some of them, but we don't have all of them. They're working through it with us.
Okay, so if there's something that comes up between now and before y'all give us our budget books,
Mhm.
they can still submit some
Oh, yes.
changes? Okay,
Yes.
okay.
That's basically how, I mean, it's a working draft until we get it to you that day.
Okay.
That's why unfortunately that one year when we were here until nighttime trying to print them and give them to you, it's because, I mean, it's always changing until that last minute.
I just want to make sure.
But yes,
I
no,
had
no,
some
there's no,
questions
I mean,
on some.
it helps us put it together, but they're not cut off by any means
Okay.
right now. I mean, they have until budget time.
Gotcha. Thank you
ma'am.
so much. And
Nope.
good luck to all the departments. Everything works out smoothly.
So agenda item number 8, adjournment. May I have a motion to
Make a motion to
adjourn?
adjourn.
Second.
We have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Meeting is adjourned. It is 2:51 PM. Thank you so much, council, and thank you, everyone.